Hey everybody, Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. I'm not going to be too long, but I'm riding around, running some errands, about to head back to the office, and thought this would be a good time to talk about this. Everybody's talking about the interview that Oprah did with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and all of the things that came out that no one should actually be surprised about. I have not watched the interview, and I don't plan on it, and I have my own personal reasons that I will not get into now. I'm not attacking or judging anyone based on the fact that they got into it and it was so enthralling and all of that, to each his own. But I have my reasons. However, this thing that social media has an uncanny ability of doing, and that is letting people who aren't watching something get a play-by-play of what's actually being said, what's actually being done, from international, world, global funerals to everything else. If you just scroll down your news feed, you're going to get a play-by-play on what's happening and what's being said. One of the things that keeps popping up is the fact that people within the royal family, within the establishment, or whatever you want to say, came to Meghan and Harry and expressed an implicit concern that explicit concern of how dark the baby might come out when she was pregnant, and everybody's shocked about it and whatever. And my thing is, there's no way possibly that you could actually be shocked by this. It's just another way that the media tends to manipulate the emotions of black people off of things that shouldn't shock us in the slightest. I'm not really here to talk about what happened with Meghan Markle. I have no feelings about her one way or another. She made a choice, and I'm pretty sure listening to her talk in the interviews that I have heard her talk in, she's intelligent enough to have known what she was walking into, and she chose to do it. I'm not being indifferent or insensitive. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things going on in Black America that has a more emphatic impact on us as a people here in America, and so that's where my focus will be primarily aimed. However, while looking at this and looking at how offended those people in the royal family were by the idea of having a dark-skinned baby, what I can tell you that we should be talking about isn't that, but just how often, frequently, and easy black people are offended by the idea of our own blackness. See, this is, in general sense, often referred to as colorism. See, it's internal colorism. It is where we tend to grade, rate, judge, and evaluate ourselves based off of the complexion of our skin. We do it to ourselves. We do it to others in our own families. We do it to others in our own race. We understand that whether it is ever spoken or not, there's an implied advantage to those of us who are of a lighter hue. The lighter you are, the more you get to move around and within the system and experience some of the advantages. You never will be accepted as being white, but you aren't treated the same way that dark-skinned blacks are. This is the reason, whether we want to admit it or not, that family members go to the hospital when a baby is born, and within the first day or so are looking at the baby's ears, because they say the ears are an indicator of just how basically the color and complexion of the baby will turn out. They are actually checking ears because they want to know how dark will the baby be. Instead of embracing it and hoping for a darker hue, we're looking at it hoping that the baby doesn't. We're talking about the texture of the hair, how kinky will it get? Will it remain wavy, and all of this stuff, will it change, and other things that you're looking at that are directly associated with the contrast of whiteness and blackness, right? Okay, and you can go on and on and on at how black men tend to, when they're going to go out of the race, go for lighter complected women or white women, because they're trying to lighten the hue of their offspring. And it's an inherent and sometimes subconscious understanding that a lighter child is going to have a better way or an easier way. Now, it's going to come with some other complications, because there is a push back against mulattoes, even within the black race, and for good reason in some instances. So it's never an easy walk. My thing is, instead of teaching identity, self-identity, self-awareness, self-worth, self-esteem, something about, hey, be truly engaged and in love with who you are, regardless of the hue of your skin. You know, I have light complected children, I have dark complected children, and all my children are beautiful. I've told them how beautiful they are, and I've never ever associated it with their skin complexion. And what am I getting at here? Until we start having this conversation, the conversation about internal colorism, the conversation about how offended we are with our own blackness, are we going to ever truly gain any ground? They're going to always be offended by our blackness, because our blackness, it frightens them. Our blackness intimidates them. Our blackness is a constant reminder of the true nature and order of this world. And so they are never going to be comfortable with our blackness. They're never going to want it to infiltrate what it is. They will establish all kind of arguments of supremacy and genetic superiority, when the truth of the matter is everything extends and comes from the dominant trait that can only be found within melanated people. So we don't come from you, you come from us. We understand that, and more of us are understanding that, and more of us are becoming comfortable in our skin. But more of us have to be comfortable in our skin if we're ever going to truly execute the plan of empowerment in the diaspora, and through that connect with the continent of Africa and right the wrongs that are going on there with the colonization and the manipulation and the exploitation of the resources, minerals, and so forth there. But in the essence of what I'm trying to say is, while we're so concerned with what the royals are thinking about Meghan and Prince Archie, I guess that's his name, what we should be concerned about is how we are evaluating ourselves, just how offended we become with our own blackness, how hard and forcefully we push and hope for lighter complected children. We need to deal with the identity crisis that is within the black collective, and we need to deal with it in a way that is empowering and liberating. We need to make sure that we're teaching our children who they are in a sense that actually highlights and empowers their melanation. And that's something that we should be focused on. Look, we need to be talking about what we are dealing with and how our colonized minds have us hating ourselves. We need to deal with the fact that we have been conditioned to despise our own being, ourselves, our beautiful full lips, our wide noses, our melanated skin. And the crazy thing is, while we're hating ourselves and aspiring to be like them, they're doing everything they can in the surgery room to look like us. We are an extraordinary and exceptional people. We need to start living like it. We need to start walking like it. We need to start speaking like it. And this is what I can tell you. When you walk like it and you speak like it long enough, you start to act like it. You start to move in it. You start to embrace it. You start to accept it. That's where we've got to be. That's what we've got to teach this next generation. Because what I can tell you is they're targeting the next generation with an inferiority complex like no other. They're targeting the next generation with the effeminization of our male species. They're targeting the next generation with a solid hatred of our male species. We have to sit up and understand what's coming, and we've got to be ahead of the game, and we've got to prepare our youth to withstand the force of the hatred that is aimed at them in so many different means and mechanisms and machinations. That's the force we've got to talk about. What's going on with Meghan Markle is of Meghan Markle's choosing. It is what it is. I don't have anything I hold against her, but she made that choice. And she gained a certain exchange for it. She decided that was worth it for her. But what I can tell you is, I choose to live as a black man. I choose to live holistically within myself and my nature and my identity and my history. And I don't desire to be anything other than myself, a black man. Before I'm a businessman, I'm a black man. Before I'm a husband, I'm a black man. Before I'm a father, I'm a black man. I was born black, and I embrace and love it. I love my black wife. I love my black children, and I am totally invested in being a part of the solution to our problems. But what we cannot do is sit up and pretend like we don't have some internal issues that we need to deal with. As an African proverb that says that if there's no enemy on the inside, the enemy on the outside can do us no harm. We are vulnerable because we haven't dealt with the enemy on the inside. On that note, I'm getting off here. You guys have an unbelievable day.